Breaking news, Bitcoin is about to have a weekly stochastic RSI cross, something that only happens between 2 and 3 times per year. This is something that we have been waiting for months. This is something that could change the game for Bitcoin. Is it looking good, or is there problems in our path? Now, on top of that, we have 200 days of resistance from this trend line. What is Bitcoin about to do next? There are some hidden clues in this chart in a complete danger zone that we need to avoid. Now, top of our screen, price action is getting resistance from this green line, something that we do not want to see in any bull run. On top of that, we have been range bound for almost 200 days, a key signal of what is about to happen next. All 3 of these components covered right here in today's video. It's time for you to buckle up. Tons of people have been asking to cover the weekly stochastic RSI cross and the bull flag that we're in, how to trade it to maximize your money. I took both of those, put them into an exclusive bonus video, completely free to everyone on our email list. If you're on my email list, that video is waiting for you right now. If you're not on my email list, you're completely missing out. Go to cryptocrewuniversity.com and in 3 seconds, sign up to the email list and immediately unlock this exclusive bonus video. You do not want to miss this. Go now. Hi, I'm Steve. I quit my job over 13 years ago, been traveling the world since, thanks to my trading and investing skills. Join me for sponsorship-free TA with genuine value that actually works. Subscribe. Here we are on Bitcoin US dollar index, and we are on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, we're going to be covering 3 components in today's video. Price action with all of the components inside of this top part, the middle of our chart, the RSI, including this resistance zone here, and we've got to touch on the star of the show, the stochastic RSI cross that is about to happen. But is it going to be another fake out signal? And is there more danger in our path right beneath our nose? Now, let's start with price action. Price action, what you see happening is Bitcoin had a parabolic move and then has moved sideways since. It's moved sideways for about 175 days, otherwise known as consolidation or range bound. So markets are either trending markets, they can trend up or down, or they're range bound. And what Bitcoin typically does after a hefty move to the upside or to the downside is it moves range bound for an extended period of time. Let me give you one example of the downward action. Back here in March 2022, we had an explosive bloodbath move to the downside, and then we were range bound for about 200 days prior to marking our bottom and moving up. Now, what you can see happen here is when we had our bottom and moved up, we actually moved range bound again for about 200 days prior to another parabolic move. So Bitcoin essentially is having a parabolic move, then it takes about 200 days to really catch our breath, build market structure, and then we have another move, and then we need to catch our breath and build market structure again. So that is what Bitcoin is doing, and most people are thinking, oh my God, this bull market is ridiculous. Bitcoin's price is pretty much the same every single day. Well, this is by design. There's no bull market where it just goes straight up, and there's no bear market where it just goes straight down. Everything moves in these systematic patterns in every chart in human history. What you don't want to see is Bitcoin is holding resistance at this green line. What's this green line? It's the 21 SMA, or simple moving average. If you go to your indicators and type in simple moving average, you can pull it up on a weekly chart and put it on the setting of 21, and it will look precisely like this. What you can notice when you zoom out of a chart like this, you can notice that typically in every single bull run, we hold this 21 SMA as support. In every single bear market, we hold it as resistance. That's not by mistake, that's by design. It's a moving average that you can put on your chart and use it for the rest of the time that you're in crypto. It's a huge cheat code. So take a look. We never have candles close below. These broke below, but they never closed below. During a typical bull market, in every single bear market, we're holding it as resistance up until what we had happen in 2018. You can see that once we dip below this green line, It was foreshadowing of what's to come. Now, this happened a couple hundred days later. Once we break this green line, then prices plummet in a downward action. It doesn't happen that way. Once we broke this green line, it was foreshadowing of like, hey, in the next couple hundred days, pump the brakes a little bit. There could be some problems coming. And then the rest of the bull run, we held it as support until we broke it again, which was another huge sign that some problems were coming. The only thing we did after this was we double topped and had a huge crash. So this was our warning sign, breaking this green line. What you notice is this is not our first go around this bull market with breaching said green line. We did it back here in August 2023, which we covered right here on our channel. This happened to be at the end of a 200-ish day move sideways. Sound familiar? What pushed us out of this zone was having a Stochastic RSI Cross. Sound familiar? So here we are, about almost 200-ish days in, also holding it as resistance and waiting for a Stochastic RSI Cross. Does it sound like a repeating pattern? I mean, it's right before our eyes, looking just like it did back in the day. What you notice about this one is over the past couple weeks, right? When you look at our range-bound action, we had resistance up at this top channel and we had support at this bottom channel. And by the way, this is also a bull flag, something that we cover in the free bonus video. Go to cryptocrewuniversity.com to get that free bonus video and how to trade the bull flag. But we're not going to cover the bull flag right now. But what I will say is take a look at these wicks at the bottom side. As soon as we had this top of our channel here, we had this bottom wick here, which shot momentum back to the upside. And then we had further resistance here shooting us back down. And we printed this huge wick here that shot prices back up. And then we had these big wicks here that push prices back down. You see, these wicks tell the story and the bodies tell the facts, right? Men lie, women lie, charts don't lie. Tons of people have been asking to cover the weekly Stochastic RSI Cross and the bull flag that we're in, how to trade it to maximize your money. I took both of those, put them into an exclusive bonus video, completely free to everyone on our email list. If you're on my email list, that video is waiting for you right now. If you're not on my email list, you're completely missing out. Go to cryptocrewuniversity.com and in 3 seconds, sign up to the email list and immediately unlock this exclusive bonus video. You do not want to miss this. Go now. What you notice is recently we had a huge wick on the downside, which means that we do have some momentum on our side. Keep in mind, this is a brand new candle. This hasn't printed yet, but this one has printed and this one has printed. So this one told us like, hey, we got momentum into the market, and this was an indecision candle, which means we had a body right in the middle, an upward wick and a downward wick. This was an indecision, it was kind of a tug of war for that week of price action, but we still have momentum on our side, and we do have resistance above our head, pretty heavy resistance, and resistance that we don't want to see. We don't want to have any prolonged move below here. Now, what you notice about the middle of our screen, this is where things get pretty interesting, and this is where things start heating up. For almost 175 days, we've had this red line acting as resistance with multiple touch points. In other words, we had Bitcoin rise to its high, and then since then, we've gotten resistance with a lower high, another resistance with yet another lower high, and yet another resistance with yet another lower high. Now, what does that tell us? Well, anytime you have a trend line with multiple touch points over an extended period of time and you break through said line, that's when typically an explosion happens. It's kind of like a pressure cooker. Case in point, look no further than the prior time we did precisely that. This is something that we covered on our channel for a couple hundred days, right? We were here for roughly 700 days. We covered this for a couple hundred days because we had multiple touch points and a descending line here, and it was bound to happen. When we got down towards the bottom of the market, we started showing bullish divergence, meaning price was creating a low and a lower low, while our indicator was creating a low and a higher low. This is a signal to really experienced traders that the market's about to shift in the opposite of what the high majority think. So this is something that became pretty apparent, and the facts and the charts were screaming our name that we were going to break out of this 700-day descending line here that's been acting as resistance, and we were going to have a huge move to the upside. During that period, the market was bottoming, but nobody believed it. 80%, 75 to 85% of people were really saying that we were going to drop to 7K, 6K, 5K, 4K when we had this, but typically below 10K. And this is what we had to say at the time before we broke out of this. Roll the clip. The charts that I studied are saying that the bottom is in. So if you're waiting for prices to dip below 10K, I don't think it's ever going to happen. So at that time, you can see you want to go against the herd and you want to go based on facts. And we had a couple things in our favor. We had this descending line here with multiple touch points, continuous lower highs, and we had the bullish divergence and a breakthrough. So what you can see happening here is this is not 700 days, but it's almost 200 days. So could it be as strong a momentum as this? Not likely. But when we break this line, and eventually we will, this is what is going to happen, right? These moves are typically explosive because of the market moving range bound, gaining market structure while catching its breath for that next leg up. That is what you want to see if you are a Bitcoin bull. Now, if you're a Bitcoin bear, there's a key market structure that if we broke, it would be a disaster. And that's this pivot low here, marked at about 44.5. 44.5 on a weekly scale. And it dates back to September of 2023, a year ago. We were down here and we held and we respected that market structure with our pivot low in July, and we have respected it since. A breach of said market structure would be really horrific because, in other words, the past couple of years, for all of 2023 and all of 2024, we've held said structure. If we were to suddenly break that in the midst of a bull, it could be a deadly bloodbath of a signal. So pay attention to 44 on the weekly RSI and keep in mind a breach and a close below there is substantial. If we just breach below there during the week and we come back up, not substantial. The close is everything. Now, we have on our side a bull flag. We have on our side a market structure. This is beautiful market structure that we're building. You can argue that you're bearish. You can argue that you're bullish. You can argue whatever you want, but you can't argue that this is beautiful market structure that we are creating at the moment. Plain and simple, whether you hate Bitcoin or love Bitcoin, you want it to go up, you want it to go down, backwards, forwards, it doesn't matter. Market structure is market structure. Men lie, women lie, the facts don't lie. This is beautiful market structure, plain and simple. Now, when you have beautiful market structure, there is that warning sign of this green line, which we discussed, and we've got to break a new all-time high to break out of this structure that we've been in for almost 200 days. Something that we did here. When we were in this structure for 200 days, this was remarkably healthy as well. Look at this structure built support directly on top of this area of resistance. It's beautiful market structure. It's a thing of beauty. You have to appreciate the charts. Whether you want Bitcoin to go up or down, you got to look at the facts, and the facts speak to you, not what you emotionally want to happen, or according to my trade, I want Bitcoin to do. No. You take a step back, you take a deep breath, and you have to be honest with yourself what the facts are saying. Now, when you do that, you can say, okay, we've got great market structure, but I really don't like that we're holding resistance at this green line. We typically don't do that. However, we are on the verge of having a Stochastic RSI Cross, something that could really change the game, something that we have been covering for months and months now, waiting for this Stochastic RSI. And since then, I said the only thing that could save the day for Bitcoin and keep this bull run going is a weekly Stochastic RSI. And it's going to be the battle between those two. Simply put, that's what's happening in Bitcoin, and that's what's been happening for months now. We've been just waiting for this Stochastic RSI to play out. We had a false signal back in June. We had a false signal back in July. And as you look at it, right now, hot off the press, things are looking like it could be on the verge. By the way, having a weekly stochastic RSI cross could be the catalyst that really opens things up. Here's what I mean. Hypothetically, if we had a stochastic RSI cross, momentum would come into the market. When momentum comes into the market, it's likely that we will break this trend line that we have held resistance for almost 200 days. If we had a stochastic RSI cross and broke this from 200 days, that could be the catalyst between those two that finally break us out of this bull flag in a positive direction or a range-bound action. We've been range-bound for almost 200 days. That could be the catalyst. If that's true, we could set a new all-time high. Now, let me digress and paint a big picture for you. If Bitcoin were to do all of these things, hypothetically, it still is not out of trouble in the bigger picture, and here's why. We still have a 2-month gravestone doji. If Bitcoin were to create a new all-time high, it would be a high here and a higher high here. Where in the RSI, it would be a high here, and it's highly unlikely we have a higher high in the RSI. So it would be a lower high. In other words, we would have bearish divergence. This is something that I've been preparing you for a couple months now, and I needed to restate that so you understand. Just because Bitcoin creates a new all-time high, it doesn't mean that things are just peaches and rose petals and flowers and rainbows. That's not how things work. We still need to gauge the facts and the charts if that were to happen and look at the market structure and make some sound decisions based on facts, which is why I'll be doing bonus videos when we get to that point if we do, right? And if we don't, we're still going to be prepared for what is to happen next with more bonus videos. But here's the thing. Is this going to be a bullish case for Bitcoin and clear as day with no worries? Or is there something standing in the way? Something that is right beneath our nose and something that we can't quite put our finger on? That's what we're covering in the bonus video. Go to cryptocrewuniversity.com. It's completely free, takes 3 seconds, and unlock that video immediately. You do not want to miss out on what I have to say. I'll see you on the inside. Peace and love to the fellow underdogs. Tons of people have been asking to cover the weekly stochastic RSI cross and the bull flag that we're in, how to trade it to maximize your money. I took both of those, put them into an exclusive bonus video, completely free to everyone on our email list. If you're on my email list, that video is waiting for you right now. If you're not on my email list, you're completely missing out. Go to cryptocrewuniversity.com and in 3 seconds, sign up to the email list and immediately unlock this exclusive bonus video. You do not want to miss this. Go now.